Houston, our instruments are showing that we have a incoming message from deep space. Repeat, Houston, we have an incoming message from deep space. Houston, we'll begin playing message now. Houston, we're going to try and translate that up here. Hold for translation. Translation complete. We'll begin playing message now.
Hey, it's me, Melissa.
What do you do when the aliens invade? Take a shot of MK Ultra and watch Melissa Jade. Put on your tinfoil hat and tune right in. We got that crime spree, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, a complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what it all bends understanding. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Aliens is on the sun or in Area 51. Time travels, unravels, haunted castles, cops are baffled, potential experimental thoughts that make you transcendental. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Crime sprees, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what it all bends understanding. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa.
Hi, guys. Happy Members Only Monday. Welcome, welcome. I'm mad. I'm mad because I'm like, I guess it's my own klutziness. If you guys don't know me, I'm very klutzy. But I'm mad because I've been saving like really good ranch dressing in a cup. Like I've been saving it for 2 days for me to go get like lettuce, because I love ranch, but not ranch that you could get in like you like homemade ranch. So I got this ranch and I've been waiting 2 days, and today I finally got my like romaine lettuce. And just as I was like, you know what? I'm gonna, Wolfie, I saved this damn cup of ranch, okay? And just when I was about to start this live, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go get I got like a little tub of baby romaine, so little leaves, And I was like, I'm gonna bring that in and snack on it for Grusing. And so I take my little box of romaine and I put my ranch dressing on the top. And as I was walking in, my ranch dressing, it fucking fell and it opened, and there was ranch all over my floor. And now it's gone. And I was really, really you know what I mean? Like 2 days, like, like I can't wait till I have that, man. 2 days. And I went all the way to get this fucking thing of romaine lettuce. And now the ranch is gone. It's gone. So yeah, I'm fucking pissed. I even got like the pre-washed romaine, like it's the baby leaves, and I have no fucking ranch. It I'm so mad. I'm so mad. But how are you guys doing? Because I'm pissed. I'm pissed. That's the ranch I had, MK. So the other day, I was on the phone with like Wolfie and Shay, and I'm like, yo, what's better, Wingstop or Buffalo Wild Wings? I've never had either. And the contributing reason of why I chose Wingstop is because Shay said it has the best ranch. So my ass paid $5 for a fucking large thing of ranch. And I saved this ranch. I saved it for this moment. And no, it went beyond the 5-second, and don't think for 1 second I didn't look at the floor and consider it. But it was you know what I mean? Like, it was a thin smear across the floor. And I'm like, I am not about to dip a piece of lettuce. I considered it. It's like, I can't, man. But it was the Wingstop fucking ranch MK. And I was like, wow, you know what? This is glorious. I'm saving this fucking cup and I'm going to go make a salad. And it's gone now. It's fucking gone. 2 motherfucking days. All for nothing. So yeah, that's how I just started this live. I'm very upset. I don't think we have Red Robin's here. It has the best homemade ranch. What has the best homemade ranch? And I have never made my own homemade ranch, even though it's very simple and I really want to do it. Garlicky and dilly, that would be fabulous. But there's a restaurant that has the best fucking ranch I've ever had in my life. No, Maria, so I'm not gonna go, like, it's 20 minutes away and I don't want the food, I just want the ranch. Okay. I thought about it. Okay, I'm not saying I didn't think about it, I thought about it. And yeah, it was like So yeah, I'm pissed. Yeah, you guys heard me eating the celery the other night. That was when I got the fucking ranch. And yeah, I'm just, all right, we'll just move on, but I'm just really pissed. I know like the recipe, but I don't have it now. Right now, I'm sitting here. You hear this? That's my box of baby romaine lettuce, pre-washed, ready to go. I was supposed to be dipping this into the ranch while we watched Daddy Grusing. That was my plans. I waited all day. I didn't touch it. Now it's gone. It's not an option. All because it slid off the top of this and onto the floor. So, yeah. Okay. I'm so pissed, man. Yeah, MT, damn that ranch. And like, it was that moment where I heard it slide and I heard it hit the floor and I didn't even look because just like the disappointment set in, and so it took me a minute to look at the floor. Because I thought there's no chance that it didn't open, right? Yeah, no, there was no chance. I should have known because I felt the wetness hit my foot. It went everywhere. So I also have a sticky floor along with it because I don't have time to mop before my live. This happened literally at 7:30. So I'm going to have to mop after this. It's just a mess. Ooh, Keith, yeah. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Artemis. Artemis is sad now. Yeah, it was a slow-mo. Like, I'm just so upset about it. Okay, let's just move on. Let's move on. And I don't even have anything to dip my baby romaine in. Nothing. And this romaine looks really good. All right. So I know Planet Lover. I'm very heartbroken about it. I really am. Does it help to know that I'm traumatized from the Patreon? We have part 3 tonight. As soon as I end this live, we are going over to Patreon and we are going to go over call number 3, which again, I would have preferred if I had my ranch for it. You know what? Actually, this is probably better off. It's probably better off. I can't eat this fucking romaine with nothing. This is bullshit. Bullshit. I know. I got more asparagus though. Yeah. I think what I think the problem is with the asparagus? I think it's going out of season and that's why it's not as good as it normally would be. No, Emily, and even if I did, I don't like container dressings. I like homemade dressing. That's it. Planet and Girl More. It would have to be that ranch, Wolfie. No, I'm not no, I love fucking meat. Don't get me wrong, but I love other things too. Yeah, red white vinegars. But that's not what I wanted. I waited 2 days, guys. You know what it is like when you have something in the fridge and you're like, oh yeah, I'm fucking waiting. I'm saving that, It's on my floor. Okay. Dude, I haven't watched it yet. We're going to start tomorrow for the Wade Wilson interrogation. and like arrest body cam footage. I'm so excited, but I don't ever watch it ahead of time. But I am looking forward to loogies and all. My DoorDash ranch fun. Do you think they would let me order just ranch like from DoorDash for Wingstop? I don't know about that, but thank you, Meg. Okay, Crying Crochet. I like meat named Daddy Grusing. Damn. I don't think. No, Homer. I'm not a blue cheese lover. I don't want chunky. But Emily, that's funny. You ordered just ranch from for delivery though? I don't think, because I'm not driving anywhere. Going nowhere. Or a jar of dressing. Yum. All right, you guys. All right. Don't fuck with me, because now my head's gonna go in the wrong place. All right, so we're gonna continue with Daddy Grusing. Thank you all for being members. You have no idea how much your support means to me, whether you were gifted a membership or you became a member on your own. Thank you so much. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for anybody who is watching and can't afford a membership, but you're still tuning in. We love and appreciate you just as much. Thanks, Pointer Lover, my DoorDash Ranch Fund. You guys are funny. Thank you, guys. And they charged me $5 for a large ranch, but to be fair, I watched all of like the videos online of like people dipping like a whole thing into a cup of ranch, and that's what I thought I was going to get, but I didn't get that. Instead, they gave me like 6 little containers of ranch. But either way, I paid $5 for that ranch, and now it's on my floor. So thank you, Pointer Lover, and thank you, Meg. You guys are so funny. Thank you. Okay. Well, one day. One day. Hi, Nicola. So it's worth it, and that, but at the time I never tried it yet. So poor Shay, because I was pissed because one, celery didn't come with my order. Like it's like, how do you not give celery with wings? Okay. 2, the fries were cold. I was just mad. And so she was scared because she told me the ranch was good. And I was like, yeah, well, it better be. No, it was really good. It wasn't the best I've ever had, but it was really good. So it was worth the $5 if it wasn't on my floor. Cold taste, that's okay. I don't know, Keith. Hi, Tess. I know that ranch is really more simple than you realize. But I forgot. I think it's buttermilk, if I'm not mistaken. And then dill, garlic, everything that makes you want to come, basically. All the good shit. Thank you. Oh my God, your name. I can't. Ginger Bussy. I love it. It's been a while since I've seen you, but welcome and thank you for my ranch fun, you guys. I'm not grifting for ranch, but I really do appreciate it. Oh my God. I feel like someone I know right now grifting for a fucking ranch. Oh, is it mayo in it? That's disappointing because that makes me feel icky. The same way that I love Caesar dressing, but do you know that it's raw egg and sardines in it? So it's something I'd want to like, because there are really nice restaurants that offer to make the Caesar dressing right in front of you. No, thank you. I don't want to see it because if I see it, I won't want to eat it. I'm not big on peanut butter. Don't come for me. Like it's good. I'll have a PB&J once a year. But like I'm not like a peanut butter lover. But for anybody who are peanut butter lovers, Allie showed us this website that every Sunday they drop new very intense different flavors of peanut butter. Like caramel cheesecake peanut butter, blueberry waffle peanut butter, and I ordered some for the Spawn. She enjoyed it, but I know Deets and Allie truly love that damn peanut butter. So if anybody's interested, I could tell you guys the link for that. Yeah, see, I hate the Hidden Valley. It's such a bad, it's nothing. Like I hate that flavor. Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about, Kathy? She's obsessed with that damn peanut butter site. It's called nuts. It's called what's it called, Wolfie? It's called, I'll find it. I'll drop you guys the link. Okay. So before we get started, let me pull up Nerdy Nuts, Pointer Lover. Thank you. It's Nerdy Nuts. It's not these nuts. It's Nerdy Nuts. And poor Allie is obsessed with that Nerdy Nut site. When I say like every Sunday they drop a new flavor of nut, and when I say that, like Allie religiously goes onto that site to check out the flavor. Like she loves this nut site. That sounds really wrong, but she does. Nerdy Nuts. I'll drop you the link though. And if that's like if you're into peanut butters and stuff, you could spread it on apples, you know, like toast, whatever is your thing. But I would definitely check it out. And they do sell out quickly. So come Sunday, if they have like a new flavor dropping, check it out. Go on. Here it is, Nerdy Nuts. Okay. So this is Janiyah Severson. She has been missing since August 30th, 2024, out of Orlando, Florida. She is 16 years old. She has the most adorable dimple. If you or anyone you know has information on her whereabouts, please contact the Orange County Sheriff's Office at 1-407-836-4357. Why do I have, okay, go away, got this. Crime Crochet, it's Nerdy Nuts. I dropped the link. Hi, Neil's wife. Ooh, Tony, that's very nerve-wracking to be allergic to peanut butter. Right here, Nerdy Nuts. You know what? Maybe I wasn't supposed to share this with everyone because I don't want Allie to have to compete with someone. I hope she's okay that I said it because, like I said, they sell out. Okay, I got the spoon and I got 3 different flavors. I haven't tried any of it though. My spawn did. And she said it was good, but I still had like the leftover bit. So I probably won't ever get it again, but it's not my thing, you know. But I like the spoon. Thanks for it, Linda. Yeah, Natasha, I'm like, shit, maybe she didn't want the world to know because she doesn't want to compete and have them sold out. So just don't tell her I told you, okay? Okay, so we have Daddy Grusing still on the stand. We are going to continue. We are in the middle of the interrogation. They're going over. So let's jump. I'm going to just share the full screen because the audio is going to eventually go. All right.
And yeah, I would see that as, and then she went from there to holidays, you know, so she wasn't going where I would like her to go to see the gravity of us looking for an 11-year-old child.
Is that another indication?
I think we had just
Right, if I
stopped
can
it.
add that point.
Yeah.
Again, don't discuss the case among
So
yourself.
we're coming
don't discuss
back
the case with anyone else.
from break.
No, it's not endorsed as
Hold on.
into
So when we come back from break, Will Cook has got something to say. Let's see. Okay.
People versus
He
Letecia
was
Stauch.
saying that he
Record should
believes
reflect the
her,
jury's not
if there was a
present.
motive for hurting
Is there
Gannon,
anything
would
we need to
be
think of outside the presence of
the
jury at this
attention
point?
she would get
Yes,
as
Your
the
Honor,
mother
I'd like to
of a missing child.
Lisa.
Oh, they're back. Okay.
They're back. I'm sorry. I want to hear that. Hey, can you call back during the lunch break? Does that work?
Sure, I will. I will. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
But he's a
Hi, Sabrina, Kitty, Alicia, Bogart.
essentially an FBI profiler that he's got a lot of experience with that. He's been an agent for a long time. He's mentioned
So, all right.
the case.
we're just coming back from break, okay? Before they let the jury in, Cook is speaking to the judge, and he is making some type of argument regarding Grusing, which I don't blame him, because Grusing is an absolute amazing expert witness, and you could tell they are intimidated by what he brings to the table. Thank you, Neil's wife. Thank you so much. That's so awesome. Look how cute that is. Bravo. Thank you. So that's where we're at right now. The jury did not get let back in.
Cases he compares. A very experienced FBI profiler. Your Honor, under People v. Stewart, Colorado Supreme
Take a piece
Court,
of romaine out.
He doesn't have a microphone at that
I
table.
would object to any senescence or tantamount
Just gonna eat lettuce.
agent.
Come on.
We're talking about language of, oh, well, these are grievances that lead to the pathway to violence and stuff like this. This is expert testimony. And this testimony was, or this information that is being used in this testimony was gained by being an FBI profiler.
Rightly.
And,
Sit down,
regular
Cook.
people, lay people, this isn't a lay opinion. They don't go around talking about pathways to violence in this.
Cook is mad that this expert witness is being asked questions that, hey, based on what you've spoke to Letecia about, based on what you observed, is there any correlation in your past experience to violence? Have you seen this before in any cases? Will Cook is mad, and he's trying to, what are you trying to argue? That is exactly what John Grusing is an expert in.
Grievance language that leads to pathways to violence. This is information and testimony that comes from and is directly from being a longtime FBI profiler. This, we have to see the expert reports about this FBI profiler material. It's not endorsed as an expert. If we had known that his testimony was going to include this expert FBI profiling type testimony.
Wait, did you hear what he just said? If we knew his testimony would include FBI expert witnessy testimony, I'm sorry, what? John Grusing is a special agent in the FBI, and he specializes in this specific field. And you're going to sit here and say, well, if we knew this is what he would be testifying to ahead of time, what did you think he was going to be testifying to? Listen to that.
Know that
I don't eat that
this
type,
testimony was going
Lily.
to include
Hey,
this
Lily.
expert FBI profiling type testimony, we would have done a Shrek hearing. There's, a lot of information out there in other reports that, talk about some of the problems with profiling in general, that it has a lot of holes in it. There could be a lot of problems with that. So based on that, I know he's got a lot of good, relevant information to testify to for the people. But them trying to elicit this pathways to violence and grievances leading to this and, this other information, I think is wrong. I think it's
Wrong.
Moreover, we weren't expert information and testimony and opinion.
This is really
Okay,
bad.
so in summary, what I understand is that, first of all, do you have a citation on Stewart?
I do.
Yeah, get the citation.
Oh,
And while you're looking for that, as I understand it, the summary essentially of the argument is that Mr. Grusing was not endorsed to testify as an expert, has not provided any expert reports regarding the pathway to violence, which he has referenced. Is that accurate?
Can I clarify one thing, Your Honor?
Okay.
He actually was endorsed as an expert.
He was endorsed.
He was endorsed as an expert. I have filed a motion for expert disclosure for support granted.
Mhm.
I asked for a summary of their opinions on the basis for them. We were then told that all of the opinions of the expert were provided in the reports. Nowhere in this agent's reports does he mention anything about FBI profiling or that this was a pathway of violence, or that this was grievances or any of this type of information. It's not disclosed in any of his reports. And so we specifically asked for that so we could be prepared for expert testimony to rebut some of this type of information. And we're told that any type of information provided in reports.
Okay, so now I understand that he was endorsed as an expert.
Yes.
I'm
But
sorry, Your Honor, I misspoke.
But this information was not provided in his expert report.
He wasn't even, we didn't get an expert report. All we have is
Oh,
his FBI, the reports like every other agent gave. And we have no report. We have a CD from him, but nothing in any of his reports that he was going to be giving this type of opinion testimony.
this is insane. Thanks, Wolfie Weitzel, but wait, for what? You can wait, can you hear me crunching on lettuce? You know what I've been thinking? I've never got like a box of baby romaine before, but they're like little tiny leaves. You know what would be good? Like this would be good if you kind of use it as like a taco shell and just kind of put little chopped meat, a little shred of cheese, you know, a dollop of sour cream, and you just kind of wrap it. Like this is really cute, this lettuce. But either way, this is insanity. So he is qualified to talk about this, but we didn't know he was going to. This is exactly what he would be talking about. How are they arguing this? This is really grasping at straws, and you guys really did not prepare enough. You really did not. Hi, Susie. Lisa. For another ranch dressing. Thank you, Lisa. Wolfie, are you saying you don't have? No, I'm okay. Seriously, don't. If that's what you're talking about, don't. Thank you, though. I love mini foods. I love mini utensils. Like anything small, I just like it. No, that's a lie, Becky. Don't say mini foods make you skinny. Just because you like it mini doesn't mean you don't eat the quantity. You just like small pieces. But yeah, I don't think it's possible. Used to be good, MK? Yeah, like you can make a little like sandwich out of this. Like you could, like it's like a little boat, if that makes sense. So I'll put a little chopped meat, you know. Anyway, this is a very bad argument from defense.
Mr. Allen?
And Your Honor, just while I have it up in front of me,
Yes.
it's the Colorado Supreme Court, as I said,
Mm-hmm.
and 55 P 3rd 107.
Thank you.
Hey, Melissa.
Mr. Allen?
So Judge, he was endorsed as an expert, obviously didn't move to have him qualified as an expert. In discovery, we released his CV, which starts on page 45-0168. It's a 24-page CV, which might be the longest CV that I've released in discovery, but it's got extensive information about his background and training and things that he's done, including things with BAU, talking about serial killers, all that kind of stuff, school shooters, Scott Kimball investigation. And the basis of his testimony has been, and my intention is to continue to have him testify as to his experience and training and how he is using that in this interview to gain information from this defendant to continue on with this particular interview. That's been the entire basis of these types of questions. And a grievance is just really somebody feeling like they have a grievance. That's all that is. There's no specialized training for that necessarily. If somebody is complaining about something, people understand that to be, they think that there's a grievance that they have. We're not asking for expert testimony. Didn't qualify him as an expert, went through his background because that is important. It does inform how he does this interview. And I would ask the court to, well, one, I'm not sure exactly what the objection is from defense because we've had both attorneys talking about it. And it's been different statements from both of the defense attorneys. And so just allow us to continue to go through his direct examination.
And I will clarify exactly what my objection is.
Okay.
To the degree he is testifying as a lay expert, his opinion based on his training and experience is banned by people for Stewart. To the degree that they want to qualify him as an expert, we have a violation of the course order regarding experts.
Oh, they're big mad.
All right. Is Agent Grusing, he is back there. Okay, good. Here's how I see this. I did enter an order that required that if the witness were going to provide expert testimony, that a report regarding that expert's testimony needed to be provided so that it could be disclosed. I understand that Mr. Grusing has been endorsed.
Lemons for, we have a baby. We have a YouTube baby. Time to deliver a food baby. Thank you so much for the support. And I'm going to show you guys what this looks like in a second.
As an expert, he's not been offered as an expert at this point in time, but he's been endorsed as an expert. It's not clear to me. It appears to me that Agent Grusing did offer some, or he's mentioned in the reports, or he has some reports, but apparently does not have or did not disclose the opinions that the defense is requesting. What I would order is, I think that Agent Grusing needs to stay away from the phrase pathway to violence. I think he can testify as to why he was directing the interrogation in certain manners.
I know, Harlan.
I think the issue of him saying,
head
well,
is
I
like
wanted to
resting
keep
on
her
his
talking.
shoulder.
I don't really know that that's any different than anybody else, frankly, that's testified here. I was telling her this because I was hoping that I would get her talking. At one point, I think it was in the video. I don't think it was independent testimony from Agent Grusing, so I think it was in the video. At one point, he mentioned something about the Dylan Redwine case, but I think that was in the video, and he was trying to get the defendant talking about that and trying to explain his experience. I think all of those are appropriate. I think it's appropriate for the...
Okay, he's saying it's
Agent
appropriate,
Grusing.
so I'm going to just jump forward because he said it's appropriate. But let me just show you guys real quickly. You see how adorable it is? I just need you guys to see. Like, it's, you know what I mean? So you could kind of like fill it up in a little, make a little boat of a taco, but with a mini romaine lettuce. See? You see why I'm so disappointed? You see? But like, you could make a little sandwich, or you could make a lettuce boat. So yeah, I'm definitely going to get this from now on. Okay. So let's bring Grusing back. Because this is... We don't need to hear the citations. Okay.
He didn't directly...
There was Grusing.
I'm not sure it was Agent Grusing, but somebody at some point in time said, so long as we did not directly accuse her of murdering Gannon, we thought we could keep her talking. I think
yellow?
That's appropriate. So far, I have not seen anything from Agent Grusing's testimony that is outside the parameters that I've already mentioned. So while the objection is there, at this point in time, it's overruled. If it becomes more prevalent or you think you need to lodge an objection,
maybe because I was holding it in front of my
And
screen
The only other thing that we used to it,
and the light kind of shined through my leaf.
training as an FBI profiler, as handle.
Oh my God. Yes, bring our daddy back.
Same context, we've got a plethora of recorded phone calls. We've admitted 16 of them, but there's even more than that we didn't decide to admit. As you know, there's some that are over an hour long. There's some that are shorter in length. We're talking with this interview, which is almost 5 hours long, plus all of these others, that it's as far as law enforcement investigators, some of the law
Come on, bring our daddy
sort
back.
of this decision that more. You notice I haven't asked any questions about serial killers or anything like that. About discovery. First time we're hearing about it.
Look at Talini.
In the midst of trial, in the midst of testimony, under the caveat that obviously I'm not in this interview.
Okay. Mr. Twin.
I'm not objecting. The fact that he mentioned red wine in the interview is not the source of my objection. It appears to me that he's inferring some traits as far as the serial killer, saying like the grievances lead kind of not this.
Dude, we're going to be done with this court day.
Okay, let's go ahead and bring
Do you want Mr. Grusing back on the stand?
Yes, please. Bruce, if you would resume your seat on the witness stand.
Why are you
remind you that you're
smirking,
still under
Keisha?
oath.
I fucking hate when Letecia acts like she's part of the, I know, Michelle, right? Me. Well, because he says Tikiwan and plethora. So Michael Allen seems to have the same issue I have, pronunciation issues. But I hate when Tisha smiles and smirks or laughs as if she's part of the inside joke when like the lawyers or the attorneys and the judge laugh about something. Like, you are not part of this circle. You are the piece of shit. So just because everyone else in the room laughs, that doesn't mean you get to laugh too. You are not part of the inside joke, ma'am.
If you would resume your seat on the witness stand.
I know, Michelle.
I remind you that you're still under oath.
So we have a pathway forward, but do we have a pathway to violence testimony? That's what we'll see. Judges restricted, not restricted, but requested that the questions be restructured to not approach a specific area until later on in the testimony. And then they're going to do a little bench conference again.
But we hear from her a lot.
to discuss that. I was trying to follow the Shrek argument. Colorado Supreme Court adopting a flexible approach to fulfill the need for preliminary inquiry into the relevance and reliable thing. Someone who's very familiar with this, which is good. They're doing their job. We'll see where the judge allows this. Hopefully they'll lay the foundation. We'll get to hear everything we want to hear.
Thank you. May all be seated. Court will recall 20 CR 1358, People versus Letecia Stauch. Record should reflect. With that, Mr. Allen.
Judge, we just need the screen back on.
Right.
Thank you to that person. You feel
So,
my pain?
Mr. Grusing, in this next section that we're going to watch, which is 25 minutes and 55 seconds through 38 minutes and 28 seconds, you discuss victimology. Just so that the jury understands what victimology is, will you explain that?
That is one big rope.
It's just simply the study of the victim. So for someone like Gannon, we just try to find out as much as we can about him to maybe lead us to what happened to him.
Okay. We'll start that now at 25:55.
Yes, sir.
We have a plethora of video to watch.
But first, let's go to Gannon, because what we do is called victimology. Have you heard of that before? So victimology is we find out as much as we can about Gannon, the victim. And even if he's safe somewhere, even if he's not, knowing more about him, especially since you were the last person with him, helps us to try to figure out, like, say we don't have a suspect, somebody killed, but we have nothing. Then we will look at that person to see what drew that homicide.
I would love to hear your thoughts sometimes on everything, Joe.
There. Why did those two people interact at that time? And then we'll also do things like it's the subject, the situation, and the location. So something happened. Gannon's here. You have someone or something that did him harm, and then you have why the location. So we have those three things. And, we've looked through your house and, done the CFI stuff and looked at all that, body fluids all over the house and garage and whatever else. So that's all been done. I'm curious to see your challenges of Gannon here when you had to be a parent, and then there. Challenges, successes, whatever else. What special attention did he need? What can you tell me about him?
Well, here he was younger, it started mature a little bit, hitting towards, like sixth grade. So like here he was more so of like, let's see. Like at that time and situation here, okay, so prior to that, we never got to see him at sun, like every other weekend for a long time. Right. All right. So then when Albert, we finally pay all the money and got his room or whatever, Albert had to choose between getting out of the military or the kids in a way, kind of, because mom wasn't given any or whatever. So then that's when we step in and say, we're going to keep them here in our home here, and I'll stay here with them. And then, we'll go from there.
Right.
So during that time, he also didn't get to see his mom. Aisha didn't have a place to live. Aisha also, she had a baby, but then mainly to her, I'm not going to trash her. I'm going to say she was married to someone.
You're not going to trash her. That is all you literally did. Hey,
who wouldn't take care of them like they should, with her being pregnant in that situation. So with mom not having that foundation support, she wasn't able to come to the house a lot. And when she did come to the house, there's times she came that she was like, she just wasn't in a good place. So I let her stay at her home. And Gannon had a tough time every time because in his mind, he just wanted to be like a stepsister.
What?
Homer, do you need me to send you something?
You mean Harley?
No.
Oh, Landon's?
Yeah. No,
I don't.
Mia. Mike Starter.
Got it.
Mike, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he wanted to be like Mike Starter, which was they go to the dad's house for a week.
Right.
He said that was Gannon's mindset when he was here. Grandparents, amazing people, which is Landon's family. Amazing people, Grandma, I think Nana and Poppy. Great people. They would always come get them on weekend and things like that, so that I'd have time to do whatever I needed to do, or if I wanted to go shopping or go hang out with people, whatever. So we had all that,
Homer, if you want me to send you something so you could get food, let me know.
Going on here, the missing piece was, Albert, third country.
Yep.
Gannon would do his schoolwork, very smart. I think he made all A's here in fourth grade. I'm pretty sure he made all A's. So made all A's here. Didn't have an issue at all.
What was he like when he got home from school? Because Albert's out, you're having to take care of him.
Well, to be honest with you, I got him from after school, which was about 5:30ish. So by the time we did homework, and all those things, it was almost time to get ready for bed.
Are you doing his homework with him? Is he doing it on his own? What?
See, the difference between schools, and I'm not trying to talk about Colorado if you're from Colorado, the difference between Colorado and South Carolina schools, South Carolina did a lot more with history and those type of things, where Colorado is not relatively reading.
Mm-hmm.
So he did struggle with history, so we had to sit at the table a lot of times and really work on do the mathematics. He's so like his dad. Gannon is just like his dad. He is so mathematically inclined, engineer type brain.
It happens on Cash App and stuff. My friend had it happen on Cash App. I had another friend happen on PayPal, and so it's scary.
So when it came to history and reading,
she was not working
unless it was something he didn't like. So we spent hours sometimes, working on those things. But with knowing the curriculum, it was easy for me because I already knew. And so by the time we did that, it was time for him to go to bed. Yada yada. So that was.
That's here.
Yeah.
And what about in Colorado?
So,
is that different?
Well, when we get to Colorado, of course, I start them in school, which would have been August. Okay. So I start them in school. It was a big help because Gannon is at this point a little bit more mature and knows he's stable. Because see, I took him to Alaska and homeschooled him before we got to Colorado. I homeschooled him for those 2 months. And then we transitioned into Colorado. Actually, it wasn't August. I'm sorry, I told you the story. It was that January that we got here because I homeschooled him November, December, not of this past time, but of the year before.
Okay.
All right.
So January 2019.
Yes. So I homeschooled him 2018, November, Christmas time because mom couldn't get him then for whatever reason. Then we came on to, but I think she ended up getting him and she flew them back to Colorado for a week or something. She got him for a week maybe. Flew them back to Colorado. So January.
I would call them right now, Homer. You're lucky that it's an actual bank, even though it doesn't feel lucky, but versus virtual banks, if you have an issue and things like that, call them right now. Make sure there's a halt on your card and tell them to report those transactions. You got to figure out what transactions pulled out that money and put on alert, and they'll handle it. They're usually very good with it, but you got to call them now.
2019, we would have started school in Colorado.
Okay.
Right. So get them in school, which Colorado, I think it was middle May, they would go to Colorado.
Yeah.
February, March, April. Okay. So it was pretty simple in the terms of we would do like, you know, he never had homework in Colorado for some reason. So it was always Albert would be like, make them write their labs or, you know, it was time for them to go to summer.
What time did you normally get home from school?
Well, around that time, he went to another school because this new school wasn't built.
Okay.
So it would have been like 3:45, 4 o'clock, maybe, just because it happened coming from across town.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming with the fall. Yeah, so they came back in August. So we went on, Gannon went with us on a big cruise in the summer because he didn't want to go home. Right away, we gave him a choice. You want to go on a family cruise or you want to go, you know, to, he said you want to go on a cruise. So I went on a big family cruise, Dominican, and I forgot a couple of stuff. So it was just me, him, Harley, and Albert. Those are the four of us, and Lena didn't go. So we all went on this family cruise and had a great time, whatever. And then, of course, they come here for the summer, and then they get ready to come back for fall. So they come back for fall, and at this point in time, I was working. Albert was doing like the shifts, like 3-2.
You had your teaching job in the
Yes,
phone?
3-2, 3-2. He was working and all these things.
Okay.
Well, Harley was working, I think, and starting Pike Peak College. So we were all pretty busy, like throughout the day. And then in the evening, it was kind of like, come in, grab this. But then I was coaching. So as I was.
What were you coaching?
Softball. So as I was.
At your school?
At the high school.
At the high school.
So as I was coaching softball, you know, I probably didn't get home sometimes till like 5:30, maybe sometimes later, just depending on if it was a game or practice or something like that. So honestly, a lot of the help had to come from either Harley doing a lot of it, if Albert was working, or Gannon had to independently, like, you know, do a lot of it himself.
How did he get home?
Which they were teaching. At this point in time, they were in the new school.
Right.
So the new school, because we lived 1.5 miles out, the new school allowed him to take it. If not, they had the rest.
What do you need, Homer? Money for food?
Coaching was
she
over.
Does lie, you know, so much.
Around.
And I'm really curious how she was as like a coach and stuff like that. And we haven't ever really got much insight with that. How she was as a coach, how she, like I don't know, I just do not see her as someone that interacts good with any type of child of any age.
It's weird because they do softball not spring. So coaching was over maybe around like October. You know, Gannon started having a hard time because he was wanting to go home for Thanksgiving.
Of course, Randa.
When I tell you Gannon, he loves his Nana. Like that's his. If it was up to him, he'll be at Nana's house all the time because he loves Nana. So he like wanted to go because he has 2 little boy cousins. If you know, Gannon has 4 sisters and he doesn't have any brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So he, in his way, those 2 little boys are his brothers.
Okay.
So if he goes to Nana's house, so, you know, he can spend a lot of time with his little cousins.
Hey, Shacto.
And then they can all just hang out. He didn't get to go for Thanksgiving. Albert had to work. So we I don't really cook. We've always like eating out whenever it's my turn. So I just said, hey, listen, you know, we'll go out to dinner. We did all this Thanksgiving, tried to make it up the best that I could because I'm not his mom, but.
You don't have to be his. See, again, she's like, I don't want to bash Landon. I don't want to bash his mom while simultaneously bashing his mom. And you cooking dinner for like Thanksgiving, that's not like you going over the fucking top, you know, because he didn't have you. Of course, you should fucking cook dinner for Thanksgiving. But here's Tisha, always logging. Yeah, Homer, push your Cash App. What do you need though? Let us know what you need so we know. Here Tisha is always logging and taking notes of all of the good deeds she's done, not out of the goodness of her heart, but specifically because she likes to throw it back in everyone's face.
He wanted to be there with the family, you know, because holidays and that's what he used to. And then of course Christmas came around. And same thing kind of happened at Christmas, but then we worked it out and we figured out a plan to get him home for Christmas. They would
They went to Nana's for Christmas.
Spend time with the family, yeah, because mom never had like a house. So Albert said it's okay if they go and then they have to get me a house. And that was our biggest worry. Like, have you ever been here before today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like if you like look on the boulevard and things like that, there's a lot of like not the best places, and that was where they were staying at one point. You know, when they would come, and so that was why they were like, no.
Right. Yeah. So then, is Gannon responsible for taking his own? He has ADHD medicine, right? Does he do that on his own? Do you help him with that?
Most of the time, like how it worked is I got all lunchboxes ready, set them on. We've been in the house with the stove that's in the corner by the refrigerator. We would set the lunchboxes out, snacks, and let them pick.
How much do you need, Homer?
Because he just knew that he could get it. If he beat her up, he could pick the snacks he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he would pick the snacks that he wanted. And I would lay if Albert wasn't getting them up, I would lay his ADHD medicine, his Vyvanse, 20 milligrams. I would lay his Vyvanse on. And so
what form is it? Just tablet? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would lay it on the counter, and he would know, come in and take it.
How does he take it? Is it with water?
Yeah. He doesn't even use water half the time.
Okay.
He just
right.
He's been taking it since he was 5.
Okay.
So.
Is there any other that he's on or no? Like Adderall or anything?
No, I don't know. I think when he was like 5, they like tried one medicine, but the Vyvanse worked. That was it. Like that was the one.
Any of the other kids on medication? Hardly. No.
Yeah.
What about you or Al?
I don't know anything other than when I told you about the lorazepam. But see, the thing about lorazepam was they might give it to me and I might not get it again. 30 tablets, but it's only for like panic attacks or things like that. As far as Albert, I know he has the gout, so I know I'm sure it's nothing bad.
But nothing that he could, Gannon could mix up medications with or whatever. Like somebody else's med or anything.
Not that I'm worried. Now there's stuff in the counter from like probably old stuff or like, Harley had her wisdom teeth taken out.
She does, Jan.
But I'm pretty sure he might have been fine to get rid of that stuff. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But none of us had like any
He has the gout.
Or anything like that.
So in that particular recounting of, you lead into asking challenges with Gannon. Again, from your perspective, does she appear to be able to recount things? Strong memory, recall ability?
Yeah, she
Welcome, Lindsay Rose. Thank you for becoming a member. We're happy to have you here.
walked us through his childhood, South Carolina, Alaska, Colorado, when he got home from school. What courses he did well in, what courses he struggled in. So, yes.
Did it sound like fairly normal family life?
It did.
Did you ask about bath salts and the hike from Sunday, January 26th?
Yes.
So let's jump to that section. It's going to be from this point up to 4330.
I'm asking you that because of the bath salt deal that he came up with. That was on the hike day, wasn't it?
So the bath salt thing was just totally because they did this drug class, which is the same class that my grade did too. And it's where these people came in and they dressed.
Oh yeah, gout is no joke.
I say dress. They were professionals. They are medical professionals. They dressed in their outfits and all those things. And they let the kids pretend they were working on what do they call it? As if they were doing CPR and all that. And during that time frame, they went over all these different drugs. So they talked about what your life is on crack. They talked about all these. It was very, very in depth for 5th grade. But at the same time, you got to think it was probably a good thing to.
So was Gannon telling you about this, or did you find out from a teacher, or how did you find out they had this in-depth conversation?
Well, I knew because they did it at our school first. So they did it at our school first. So it was something, once they found out they did it at our school and they saw all the cool pictures and things like that, other teachers wanted to know about it. So when the other teachers wanted to know about it, they, went around different schools and they signed, I think Albert signed a permission slip, or maybe sent an email to the teacher or whatever, that it was okay for him to do.
So was Gannon fascinated with the bath salt thing, or how did that conversation happen? Because I know that seemed to be important during the hike and afterwards and whatever?
Well, it was like, okay, so my apparently would deliver these, and we never knew what they were. We were told meat, we were told whatever. We don't know. But Albert would always talk to Gannon.
It's okay, Homer. Just get your voodoo fries for, I don't know what voodoo fries are, but get your voodoo fries for tonight. And then, yeah, I'd call your bank and hopefully it'll be figured out by tomorrow. Yes, Deadeye Danny, that was the actual bath salt. Like, that was crazy. And there was footage of that. That guy is still alive and he has no eyes, no nose. Like, it's crazy. She does, Bree. She does. Absolutely. Yep. It's a tactic, Kate, to keep someone as, I know somebody else who does the same thing, in the courtroom. And the tactic is literally to overload you with so much information. You don't even know what the original question was. And you don't even know, what did I just hear? Like it throws you completely off. Oh, you're fine, Seek Justice. That's why I kept asking just how much. So I knew, from Homer to Home Fries. Oh man, sorry. Yeah. No eyes, Becky. The bath salt bridge scenario is a guy who was on bath salts and he attacked another guy on the bridge and he ate his face. No joke. And police had to shoot him because he wouldn't stop. And the victim survived, but he doesn't have any eyes or a nose. It's crazy. You can look at the photos.
About anytime people had anything like drugs and things of that sort, he would always say, like, these are bad people. Things like this is bad things. So
Right.
Gannon already had like some sort of base foundation about it, and because he had like that sort of base foundation, he always had like questions because like
Right.
that, and that was always the thing, is that he was wanted his baby Nova gonna be baby Nova gonna be, and that was like his main concern, was wanting to know these things because he was just curious of how like all.
So were you guys on the hike when he brought it up, or where were you?
He had already brought it up prior to the hike.
Okay.
He had already said something when he came home after this.
Was it a concern for you? Tell me what he said and how your conversation
I don't
went.
honestly, sir, I don't remember. I just remember he was telling us about the different things that they were talking about. And then I was like, oh, did you guys do this? And they were like, yeah, I don't know. What did you do? So it was kind of like mimicked the same way. So we did talk about that a lot.
Was that before hike, you said?
Yeah, leading up to it, before the hike, there was a lot of talk about it, for a little bit. And then, of course, the hike, I think he said a few things.
What did he say?
I just remember he was talking to me.
And was it concerning to you?
Like
what he was saying? Like he really wanted to try these things, or what?
Like, I didn't think anything about him wanting to try any of it, do anything with it. I know that he said something about it, and I gave him a bath bomb.
When he said something, what did he say?
He just asked me about, in general, about if we had bath bombs. Because, to be honest with you, he had already pooped how many times?
So he said that after he pooped on the hike?
He pooped a couple of times on the hike.
Yeah.
Like, when I say poop, I don't mean like,
just a little bit to where it's
right.
uncomfortable and whatever.
Right. And so it was the whole thing about that folks was just, I think he just wanted to like relax because he ended up taking 2 baths. So
now,
I think he wanted to.
I don't want to be weird, but are you giving him baths? Is he taking them?
No. And then goes by himself, and he's very like helpful, independent. Like I've taught him so many independent skills where he can go in there and just now he'll forget to like bring his clothes up or the simple things like that. But
okay, so he takes 2 baths that night, or 1 bath that night, 1 the next morning, or
I think when we got home, we took 1. Me and Lena went to go get food, and then I think he had used the bathroom again. took another one. I think me and Lena got the back. And then she took one somehow.
So, Mr. Grusing, in that,
I just sent Homer. I hope those voodoo fries are amazing. They're fries smothered in cheese and bacon. That sounds fucking good. I've never had that though, but it sounds fucking good.
portion of the interview, we're talking about the hike and bath salts. Again, did she appear to have ability to recall those details as well?
Yes.
Is that markedly different than when you're talking about trying to get details as to what happened again?
Yes.
In what way?
She's comfortable talking, and as you mentioned, she's giving details, and she can clearly remember what was going on, just even from her
I'll just keep munching on my
comfort in
lettuce.
talking to me.
And this
My
is from
ranchless
what she's
lettuce.
describing here is from the hike that occurred on the afternoon of January 26th of 2020.
Yes.
It does have.
Did you ask her about what does it look like if her and Gannon argue?
Yes.
So let's jump to that section. We're going to jump
Only
to
old lettuce over here.
just a little bit ahead, 44 minutes and 45 seconds.
Ooh, Amy, that sounds good. You know what would sound good right now too? Fucking ranch.
And we'll play this through 49
You know what,
minutes
though?
and
You're welcome, Homer. Because you're welcome, Homer. If I didn't mention my travesty of dropping the ranch, it wouldn't have started the conversation of where has the best ranch, and it wouldn't have got you craving voodoo fries from Wingstop, and it wouldn't have got you about to place an order, which thus showed you your account is missing all the money. So you are welcome for not only the voodoo fries, but for saving your bank account. So it was my failure of the ranch that saved your bank account. No, I'm kidding, but no, really, I hope you enjoy the voodoo fries, and I hope you figure it out quickly. Lighthouse Ranch, it's in the cold. No, but don't tell me it's the best ranch you've ever tasted and not expect me to hold you to be accountable to that statement. I do not really like any jarred, but it's already a plus because you're saying it's in the cold section, which means it's not filled with a bunch of preservatives. Don't get latest on your case. I saved you, Homer. But isn't that funny how that all works out? It does, Susie. It goes with everything. But now I can't remember what I was gonna say. So okay. Ooh, buttermilk. Okay, Kate. Okay. I'm gonna have to write that down.
12 seconds.
So what does an argument look like with Gannon? Have you guys
I
ever
know,
argued?
Taz. I know.
I am like in Myrtle Beach, you know, we would have been like, we're so much alike. So we are so much alike in terms of we both have stomach problems, really. We both have like anxiety, so to speak, you know. Mm-hmm. And he's so kind and like kind-hearted, and then the point of like we can get upset about something, but then the next minute he'll be like I am. He'll be like, oh, look about something. We'll just say something, and he had tremendously increased the amount in Myrtle Beach. I don't think I ever presented.
We try to look out for one another here.
I love you.
Even for something as simple as voodoo fries.
Or like, you know, like, I mean, like, the holiday might come, you know, they just say, oh, stress, something, whatever. But like, since having him all the time, it became more of like, I would hear, I love you, like, all the time, you know. And so I feel like it was on
the holiday, the Christmas before. Is that what you're saying? He disappeared.
You
said around the holiday he was saying, I love you.
I'm saying like once we started more and more having, then he and I became a lot closer because of just,
I remember that one.
Like wanting to have that connection with both the kids.
Surely you had some arguments with him though. Did you ever have to discipline him or no?
Well, I I've never spanked any of the children, never. Because I just don't believe in spanking other people's kids. So we never had that. Now, as far as like, okay, you are in trouble, you're going to do this. Yeah, that's
random.
any kid with any of them.
What's the biggest disagreement you had with Gannon?
Now, this is a red flag, okay? And she doesn't even realize. When Grusing asks, what's the biggest disagreement you've had with Gannon? Letecia, with her guilty conscience, yeah, Keith, right? With her guilty conscience, she really isn't willing to admit to any argument. She can't even give a specific instance. Meanwhile, all of us who are parents out there, oh yeah, hell yeah, I can tell you what argument we have with our kids, right? It's not an all-out war, but sometimes even getting them, all right, time for bed, get up, go brush your teeth, and get, that could be a fucking argument because everything is a task. It's something very simple, but Letecia is so guilty and she knows what she's done that she won't even admit to something as simple as that, which is more of a red flag if you're going to pretend that you haven't had arguments with Gannon.
Biggest disagreement. Probably because it doesn't.
Yeah.
Again, he probably shouldn't have this on him. But not like seeing the light. How he couldn't go home. He was so like, kind of forgiving. It's okay, mommy don't have money.
See, I didn't really have disagreements with Gannon. He was so kind and he was so forgiving, which I believe Gannon was all of those things. But she won't. Come on, dude. Like, when did you get into a fight? Like, how about we just brushed their teeth and then it's time to get into bed and it's like, I'm hungry. Are you fucking? It's an everyday thing with kids, right? But she can't even give one specific instance, which tells me, it actually scares me, because how bad were all of those instances? Did Letecia become abusive in every instance? And that's why she's not even willing to give one scenario really where they had a disagreement, an argument. Thanks, Wolfie. What does that mean? Wolfie, hold on.
If I said anything like, well, and I probably shouldn't have, but I did, I would be like, well, if she quit doing this, she could pay for it. And I would always figure out a way. But then it was like, I'd say, I wanted him to see that.
Was this a certain incident?
Do I know?
The biggest disagreement you had, was this at a certain time, or you?
No, we never had like big, like there was never any like big all out. When you say disagreement, like clashes or like screaming, shouting?
No, I'm a parent, so I've had mine.
You mean
disagreements,
like
yelling at the kid,
like that kind of disagreement, but never not like a.
So what's the most upset you've been with Gannon?
Where we've like.
Or you've had to yell, and I've had to yell at my kids.
I got you. I see what you're saying. So like where we've had to like fuss at each other over whether or not he did something. If he did something.
That has to happen if you're a parent. I'm
judging you. I thought you were asking me like.
No,
I'm like.
Wolfie, are you fucking kidding me? They do deliver ranch to your door. Are you fucking kidding me? Thank you. Thank you for the fucking ranch. I did not know that they would deliver ranch. What's this? I don't know what that is, but oh, is it celery? Oh my god. Did you literally deliver just celery and ranch to my door? You did. Thank you. They delivered 5 cups of ranch and celery. So, wow, I did not know that was a thing. But thank you so much.
I'm more looking at this from Gannon's point of view. I'm not judging you.
No, I thought you were asking me more of like, like Like within
Where's
the
the-
switches or like
Oh, I'm
something like
so
that.
excited.
No.
What's the most intense
It's cold.
time you've had with Gannon? As far as you're yelling, he's yelling,
Right,
that
Victoria?
sort of thing. That has to have happened, especially with that kid.
Try it.
I mean, yeah, of course.
So what time do you remember?
Oh, it's so fucking good.
Probably times that I don't remember specific times. I say all around Albert, like not being disciplined, disciplined enough.
Yeah, when Gannon was just doing something that's totally irrational and unreasonable. I have a boy, I know.
Yeah.
They don't behave all the time.
Right.
So what did Gannon?
That's fucking bomb. Just saying, that's fucking bomb. Hi, Lisa. You told her more if it was cold. Did you? It's cold. And it's like the celery came wrapped as a burrito. If that makes sense. Like it's wrapped like a fucking burrito. I'm assuming it's celery in there.
I don't know of any like specifics. I just know that we would have, like if it would have been something that wasn't in what our teachings were, we would have, of course, yelled
So
at
you
each
never
other.
had to yell at him that you remember?
I just said that to you. I said there have been plenty of times.
Yeah, but I mean a specific one.
That's
So
exactly
Mr. Grusing,
like
in
Megan.
that portion of the interview, when you're asking about the biggest disagreement that she had with Gannon, she referenced
Randall.
Gannon's mother. Did Gannon's mother and the relationship that Gannon had with his mother become a fairly consistent theme as it relates to her feeling like she wasn't getting credit?
She mentioned that
Yep.
a couple of times, yes.
Okay.
They do, poor Linda. Wolfie's the friend.
And in that particular one, she mentioned that he's very forgiving to his mom. And she being the defendant, wanted Gannon to see that his mom wasn't doing the right things.
Yes.
Almost seeming to want to discredit Gannon's own mother.
Correct.
In Gannon's eyes.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ask, or did she eventually give a description of Gannon being in a very upset rage and having some sort of a knife or box cutter?
She did.
All right, let's jump to that section, and we're jumping ahead about a minute to 50 minutes and 10 seconds.
And that's what it is, Becky, too. You're right. Grusing stays very non-judgmental in the stand. Got to give the guy cred. He does that in the interrogation, too. And this is what I mean by he was just perfect for who needed to interrogate Letecia. But Letecia aside, I really respect that because at the end of the day, it fucking tastes glorious, Maria. Fucking glorious. Thank you for asking. But we're all human. And even though when you have a job like this and you're not supposed to judge, you judge, right? Even if you going in for a doctor, a really embarrassing situation, they may not in front of you, right, act like they're judging, but they judge. To do his line of work and to stay in a position where he does not give off that energy, like he's coming at you, that he's judging you, that his goal and purpose is to extract that information. Not everyone can do that, especially when they're dealing with the topic at hand that they are discussing. I pressed play, Natasha, and then I opened my door. I went to my front door and there was the littlest bag. It was the most itty bitty bag. And I opened it up and it was ranch and celery. But I just pressed play and I walked out. You didn't hear me, I guess.
And we're going to play it to 55:32.
Gannon wouldn't yell back. Gannon would not yell back and be confrontational. So Gannon would not he might say something smart.
How did he react?
Under his breath.
Do you have an incident you remember or no? And you had to put your foot down and say, Gannon, that's not acceptable.
No, if I said that.
No. See, I believe as Letecia always describes Gannon as all of these amazing qualities, I believe that. That's what makes it even more twisted. I believe he was like that. God only knows how much he was tiptoeing and what type of stress that child was under. But there was never any disagreements. There was never any time where he pushed back, where he said he doesn't want to play on the iPad for another 10 minutes, where he didn't ask, I want to stay up for this much longer, where he didn't want to brush his teeth, where he ate right after he brushed his teeth. Nothing. That's more suspicious, Letecia, because as parents, we can name 10 right off the top of our head right now. Get in the shower. It's time to shower. 10 more minutes. Then 10 minutes goes, 5 more minutes. Come on. Like, that's normal. But you trying to make it seem like everything was peachy and there was never any disagreements, it's more suspicious than it would if you just admitted. But I can't imagine the fear that child was living under. And he probably went above and beyond to avoid any type of argument with her. But what we know of Letecia, you can't avoid these arguments. And I feel like the moment that Al walked out the door, all of her anger and hatred went towards Gannon.
He pretty much listened to what I said.
Yeah.
Was like not, I don't remember him screaming back at me at any
Or just going to his room, slamming the door,
situation.
anything like that.
Slamming the door, room.
Wingstop is pretty good. I like
more so me like saying something that Albert might have been more of the if there was slamming doors or anything. Like going back again, Albert, you need to make sure he's not doing this, and then go from there in that situation.
I'm gonna bring one of these cups of ranch to work tomorrow.
Like Albert was teaching him how to use a box cutter and like different things like that, and there were times that I might have been like, "Oh, Albert, I don't think you should have done this because he was acting weird in this way," but that would have been early in the beginning before we started getting in like counseling. But once he started getting,
unfortunately, Jenny asks, do we know if Al had any clues of this? The answer is, unfortunately, he had a lot, and it's documented. Even Al, because Gannon was under the medical care of a doctor, he was going for his ADHD and stuff, and to talk. And even Al had it expressed to the doctor, and it's documented in the case files. We've gone over it. The way Letecia treats Gannon is she takes out all of her own issues onto him, that she is thrilled when the children are not there. She doesn't genuinely love him. And so, yeah, there were many, many red flags.
Now remind me, the counseling, what was that for?
Do what now?
The counseling?
So Albert said that he should get counseling through the military, just for like all the transitions and being like in and out of school.
Hey, Cat Mom.
All different things like that.
Yeah.
To make
Gannon
sure.
Thank you. Gannon even told his school 2 weeks prior to his murder. 2 weeks. Everybody failed Gannon.
That his mental like well-being was fine, and Albert said that anytime he would, of course, counselors can't tell you, what was going on unless it was something, pressing, and of course, Albert would always come out and say that everything's fine, and then Gannon would come back and tell us what he talked about. But as far as like,
Did Gannon ever come at you with a knife or something? Wasn't there an incident?
Well, that's what I was just telling you about. There was when I told you Albert was trying to teach him how to use
That's the box cutter.
A box cutter, yeah. So Gannon had this thing about the knife, and he was just doing like this, and whoever told you that it was coming at me, that was not.
That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah,
I'm getting the real story here.
No. I know you've got stories from everywhere, and you probably are not looking at me for mine, but that is not what happened. Gannon was in a upset, which the video was shown to the counselor lady, and Albert was upset because he was like, you should have let me get the video or something like that. But Gannon was in more of like an upset rage because this was in the very beginning when he had to first transition to another school.
Was this fall?
No, so this would have.
Cat Mom, see, I think, and I don't disagree with you, but I never thought it was premeditated more than the night before, but it was only after revisiting and going over Letecia's email exchange between her and Al, and her essentially telling Al she's about to do something days before the murder, that I realized, oh my God. And then seeing her Google searches, which we're not at the Google searches in the trial yet, but we're all familiar with them. It makes me think she was at least bouncing around the idea in her mind.
I don't know if it had been fall, but okay, so 4th grade, new school, high school, then they went to the first school in Colorado, and then the new school opened.
Correct.
So it was somewhere between that time frame of, again, it was too much transition for him. That had nothing to do with him being mad at me or being mad at Albert or Landon or whatever. It was too much transitions for him that he was so upset. Like,
Well, where was he when he was doing this? Was he in his room?
I feel like it was. I don't really ask me something that was a while ago. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I mean,
were you threatened by Gannon doing that? Did it make you nervous?
Well, I told Albert, I said it has a mentality.
Maybe Cat Mom,
in my mind, I said it has a mentality of like he's going to want to not hurt himself, or not just specifically hurt someone in general, but specific, but in general. And so, like, I was a little worried because I thought he had so much anger and aggression for what was going on. Because it honestly was, Albert hadn't even got there yet, I feel like. Albert had just either got to Colorado or hadn't got there yet.
Right.
And so he had to go from being with his mom back to me, and then Albert wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was, okay, like, I got to start new school, I got to make new friends, like all those things.
How did you handle it? How did you calm him down?
He was typically always...
I'm specifically with the box cutter thing. How did you calm him down?
I don't know if it was a knife he had then. I was just saying, like, he had been using a box cutter, so that's how I was teaching him. Right? So I remember I took his amiibo. He loves amiibos. And I took his amiibo and I just threw his amiibo out the front yard.
Tess, we actually don't know I could pull up the case files, absolutely. But we actually don't know specifically what Gannon said to his teacher. It was 2 different instances because there was no official report filed. And DCFS wasn't contacted. Now, we know that something was mentioned, but it would be very insightful if we did know what specifically did Gannon say, but we don't know. An amiibo. It's like, I think, a fidget thing.
And I told him, I was like, we're not, the amiibo's gone, we're never getting it again. And I made him call his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't remember what we exactly said, but I know she was basically saying, like, you better listen. She gets upset and sends me a message. I send her a message back, and we were both like mad at each other, as in me and Landon. And then it was kind of more of like, okay, it's calm down. But this was a year ago,
mm-hmm.
So that was the gist of that. It was, he needed that outlet.
Okay.
He needed that counseling.
Well, that helps us.
So pausing you at 55 minutes and 32 seconds. Again, she's showing a good ability to recall different events that have occurred during her time with Gannon.
She is.
She says that there's some video of some knife or box cutter incident. Did you ever see such a video?
I did not.
Do you know if one even actually existed?
No.
Was there a portion of the interview that you did with her where she relays to you that she had somehow convinced Gannon to call her different names?
Yes.
The way that she's talking about that with you, did that seem like that was a calculated move on her part, meaning that she's trying to convince Gannon to do this?
Yes.
Okay. Let's jump to that. That's going to start at 57 minutes and 15 seconds.
Tess, if you want to come up on panel tomorrow for the Wade live, you're more than welcome to.
And we'll play it through 57 minutes and 47 seconds.
So, Jenny, the teacher went to the principal, but the school itself didn't go to DCFS. And it was only Landon after the fact that was notified of this. And she contacted DCFS to see were either of these instances what was a case ever opened, and they weren't. They dropped the ball massively.
Sir, it's so hard because I'm sorry.
I'm old, but don't call
sorry,
me.
John. It's so hard because if I get up in the morning and Jana would even say, "You want me to take the dogs out so you can have 10 more minutes of sleep?" And I convinced him into changing my name. Mm-hmm. So I had to go on board of like calling me a different name. I didn't ever like my original name, so I had to go on board of calling me a different name. So the helpfulness.
So as it relates to those, that different names that she's referring to, the reason that she gives in the interview was because she didn't like her original name.
That's right.
Did she ever talk about that in any other time, either on those phone calls that you were a part of, or even during this interview about how she would go as a different person or different name?
Not that I was a part of, no.
Did this appear to be the way she's describing it, a voluntary act on her behalf to get Gannon to call her a different name because she didn't like her original name?
Yes.
Did you ask her about the candle incident and the fire in the basement and keeping Gannon home?
I did.
Why'd you ask about that?
We as investigative team were very unclear on what happened with the candle incident, and she ascribed a lot of injuries to Gannon, including burns on his arms, blood, that sort of thing. So I wanted to see how she would talk about it to me.
Okay, so we'll jump to that section next, and we're going to jump to 1 hour and 1 minute and 20 seconds and play through 1 hour, 26 minutes and 58 seconds.
The candle incident. Can you tell me about that?
Okay, so Gannon wanted to, I don't remember if he wanted to stay up 30 minutes. I can't remember. There was something he did that allowed him to earn some extra time. There was something he did. But Albert had grounded him from playing the Switch. So he wasn't allowed to, play the Switch or whatever. He was only allowed to.
Awesome, Homer. You're welcome.
Right.
Well, on the hike earlier that day, he was so helpful with me.
You've always been one to gift memberships, Homer, and your support so greatly appreciated. So I'm happy that we were able to help you, and I'm happy that you contacted the bank.
People think you're sick and you still whatever, but I have serious stomach issues and still have to operate. But he was so helpful with taking care of the dogs and stuff. And I had told Gannon that, so that's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I remember that.
So we sat around and, we had before we left, we were on the sofa and I'm just crying. He didn't know who that was. He knew the name, but not growing up in my generation to know who that was. So we just sat there and talked about it. And I told him, Kobe had and started relating in the terms of being like me, I have all sisters. And so we were talking about that. And in between some of those questions might have been certain questions that led to what he was asking me about what went on school in the scene, in the talk.
Right.
And so that led into on the hike that day about what we talked about. So then that evening, I don't remember what he did, but I remember I said he had 30 minutes or something extra. And I knew it wasn't his Nintendo or things like that at the time because he wasn't supposed to earn that much.
I don't believe that.
And so then we had, I think I was upstairs, Lena, Harley wasn't there. Harley had to work. Harley had to work until, I think it was and then Gannon had, what was he doing? He was doing something, I don't remember. So I go back upstairs. Then I hear the machine was saying, beep, 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 is someone coming in the house. Okay. So I put the code in thinking, so why is the alarm thing went off? open or none of that stuff. No doors open. So then I go back where Lena was at, and I see she was faking sleeping, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but she had like the cover over her head a little bit, and so like she was doing like whatever. And so then I hear the thing saying fire. Like
Does it actually say fire?
It said fire.
Okay.
So that was the crazy thing because I never had heard. I didn't know what. I thought it would just be like that.
Right, like a siren.
But I don't know if it was the detector thing saying fire or if it was the actual. But it was just like fire, 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 whatever. So then I run back in there and I look and I see, I don't see anything, like, Joe, I don't see anything. I look downstairs and I don't see anything. And it was still going. So I grabbed Lena. I tell you exactly wrong, but I'm pretty sure I grabbed Lena first. I grabbed the dog. I think that's how it went. Don't quote me on that. But I'm sure it was in that order. So. Yeah. And we run out to the truck. I feel like either open the door. I don't remember. Somehow they get to the truck.
Okay.
And then I run back downstairs because at this point I already know I'm up there. Yeah. And so I run back downstairs and Deanna was awake but not awake. Like you know how you can almost like be asleep but not asleep type thing. And
so in his bed?
No. He wasn't in his bed.
Where was
he? Was on the sofa.
On the sofa.
Right.
This will be the, there's a lot of things that I question regarding this, but this will be the thing that haunts me. I feel like to the end of time is what the hell happened Sunday night? What happened with the candle incident? And every time she tells the story, subtle differences are off with it. And I think back to Lena's safe passage interview and what she recounts. And I'm trying to put it together, but like I genuinely do not know what injury did Gannon have at that point because there is blood underneath that wax.
So he was on the sofa, and so like when I pulled the cover, I pulled Gannon with the cover.
It was Cat Mom.
And so at this point in time, then I put the fire that's out.
So what did the fire look like?
It wasn't like huge.
Where was it? In the carpet? On the sofa?
I feel like it was on like one of the covers.
On the covers? Was the cover on the sofa though, or was it on the floor?
Oh, I don't remember. I just remember it was in the small location. It wasn't a big enough fire to.
What color was it? Do you remember? Was it yellow, red, orange?
I don't remember. Wasn't in a color to like. I think wasn't.
Because I think what blue burns the hottest, and then you have stuff. If stuff gets involved in the fire, you have a yellowish or reddish color.
I don't remember.
Don't remember?
I don't remember.
Can you show me how tall it was? Like,
yeah. Show us how tall it was.
Wasn't tall.
I don't feel like it was that tall. I mean, but my tallest might be different. I don't want to.
Still a fire.
Now, don't forget, she definitely started the fire, but there was soot and, you could see the black soot and stuff all over 3 different blankets and stuff. There was a fire. So I'm just trying to figure out how significant, because the carpets are fire retardant. It would have taken a very high level of heat for an extended period of time to create the burn in the carpet, but there had to have been something because of those blankets with the char and the soot on them.
Fire's going to freak you out.
Right. Yeah. So when I pull the cover, I pull him with the cover too, and we run out.
Did you put out the fire or no?
I know that we took the covers.
Cat Mom, yeah.
When he sees what's going on, we took the covers and like, we smashed down.
I think she tried Cutie Pie.
Like on it, yeah, because my only thought was oxygen, put it out. Right. That was all I could think of. Put it out, whatever.
Did it take much? Sorry to interrupt. Did it take a lot to put it out or no? Or did you just smother it and then move? Or was it something in between?
You would remember this.
Was there what now?
Something in between. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
Something in between?
Like in between, just it happened real quick, or you had to fight it for a while? Or
Oh, it wasn't like fighting for a while. Like there was already a bunch of covers on the side that we had. I had grabbed them all.
Good, Little Red. How are you?
Covers. Were they covers out everywhere? So it was like stuff there. And then I run and he's running behind me. So as I'm running up, he like trips or whatever, but he's right behind me. So then I think I exit back out the garage. I feel like
The truck was in the garage.
no. It was out front. I'm saying like I think I exited back out the garage. Because I feel like I just ran back to that door. I'm not 100% positive. I know we ran out. Then Ganna runs right out behind me. And when I turned around and I'm saying something to him because I'm like, hey, because in my mind, I don't remember if I had gotten the dogs, even though I had already had grabbed the dogs. And so like I don't remember what we were saying, but we were all in a free, whatever.
Oh yeah, little
He
rat.
jumped in the passenger side, and I'm in the driver's side of the truck.
Okay.
Exactly.
Lena is in the back, and at that point, we drive off. So we drive off for, I don't know, a minute maybe. We drive back, but there's no gas in the truck.
So was anybody burned from that?
So Gannon
had
a little burns on his arms from that. And then, but at the time, Gannon always lays with like his, either like his underwear on or like something like that. So at the time when we ran out, I feel like, did he have a shirt? I don't remember if he grabbed a shirt or grabbed another cover.
Yes. Becky. Yes. If you want me to read the safe passage interview real quick for you guys to remind you guys, I can. Let me know if you guys want me to. It's not long. I could just read it real quick so it's fresh in our mind. Or if you guys remember, then that's fine.
But I knew that he had some burns on his arm, but I know they weren't bad, like burns that were bad. They were just like or whatever.
Were they discolored then? Was it skin reddish, pinkish? What was it? Did you see it then? Or
no, it was not till later that I really like paid attention and should have been like, okay, well, because I did later on. So yeah, so like his arms, and then we get in the truck.
Okay, here. I'll read it to you guys. Lena's safe passage interview. Okay. Now keep in mind, Lena, I'm going to leave out, the beginning part, which is Lena, is having an issue sitting down, staying seated, like it wasn't a full, complete interview because she was running around, running out of the room, playing around. You could tell she would have been very uncomfortable. She would have been through a lot of trauma at this point, but this is what they managed to get from her. Okay. Karen started the interview by attempting to build rapport with Lena. Karen told Lena that during this interview, she is not in trouble and that they just want to talk about stuff that is true and real. Lena is 8 years old at this time, please keep in mind. Lena nodded her head yes. She would talk to Karen. However, during the interview, Lena struggled to remain still, and on at least 2 occasions, she ran out of the interview room. Due to Lena being unable to focus, a full interview could not be completed. However, the following information was obtained. Lena said they went hiking on Sunday, January 26th. She began to explain the hike. She said at the end of the hike, Gannon used the bathroom in his pants. Lena says later that night, there was a fire. Gannon forgot to put his candle out, and the candle got knocked over. Tisha saved Bubba's. Bubba is a nickname that Lena uses for Gannon. Tisha put blankets over Gannon to put out the fire. Gannon had a little bit of fire on his shirt. When Lena was describing where the fire was on Gannon, she pointed to her left side lower abdomen. It is unsure if Gannon's shirt was on fire. Lena said when the fire happened, she was in her bedroom on her bed. Lena heard the fire alarm going off. Tisha said, "Load up in the car with the puppies." Gannon was freaking out, saying, "I'm sorry, I'm really sorry." Tisha kept saying, "Okay, it's okay." They drove around in the car. When they got back home, Tisha told Lena to go into Tisha's room because she did not want Lena to go into her own bedroom. Lena said Tisha did not want Lena in her own room because, I quote, people can look through her window. Lena was in Tisha's room and was watching the puppies. Tisha was downstairs with Gannon. Lena could hear Gannon crying. Karen said, "What happened next?" Lena said, "Then it was the next day." Karen asked Lena if Gannon's shirt caught on fire and how she knew that. Lena said the shirt did catch on fire, and she knew this because Tisha told her. Tisha showed Lena her burn marks. When Lena was describing where Tisha got burned, she pulled up her sleeve on her left arm and pointed to the bottom of her forearm. Gannon's burns were also on his arm, but Lena did not know which arm. Karen asked how she knew. Lena said, "'Cause Tisha told me." Lena said Tisha was freaking out and described this as Tisha in her room taking several very deep breaths, and then said she fell asleep in her bed. When Tisha was freaking out, Gannon was in Lena's bed because there was smoke downstairs. Tisha and Lena put Gannon in Lena's bed. Gannon was crying, but not anymore when he went into Lena's bed. Gannon did not say anything when he was crying. Lena said it was time for her to go to bed. Gannon was taken to his room by Tisha and Lena, so Lena could sleep in her own bed. Lena said when Tisha moved Gannon to his room, Gannon was, and I quote, asleep. Harley came home from work at Massage Envy. She came home and began loving her dog Chance. Tisha and Lena told Harley what happened, referencing the candle. Harley asked if Gannon was okay. Tisha told Lena, "You have to go to sleep in your bedroom." Lena went to her room and went to sleep. Lena said when she went to bed, Tisha and Harley were watching TV in the living room. When Gannon was in Lena's bed, Lena was in Daddy's room, in the bed with dogs. Lena said Daddy was on an airplane. Lena said the following day she had school because it was Monday, January 27th. Gannon could not go to school because of his tummy. Lena said, Tisha made this up and it was just a lie. Lena talked about Tisha putting Gannon in the car, went somewhere, dropped him off, and then went back home. Karen asked Lena how she knew about that. She said she saw it on someone else's camera. He lives 2 houses down and his camera can see all the way to his house. This was also the video that was on the news that Lena had seen. When Lena went to school, she said Gannon was in his room sleeping. She knew he was sleeping because she helped put him in his bed. When she helped put him in his bed, Karen asked what Gannon looked like. Lena demonstrated straightening her body out on the couch to act as if she was sleeping, and she closed her eyes. She said Tisha had to bend Gannon's legs because he was too sleepy to walk. Tisha and Lena helped Gannon go downstairs. They took him to his bedroom. Then Lena saw the fire spot. She described a big cutout on the carpet near the couch. She said there were also some candle wax on the couch. Lena said she was getting ready for school. Harley was at work. Lena asked Karen if she could use the restroom. When Karen and Lena came back into the room, Karen continued the conversation, discussing what occurred when she came home from school. Lena stated Tisha was the only one home and she just got done working out. Lena asked Tisha where Gannon was, and she replied he was downstairs sleeping. Lena asked if she could go check on him, and Tisha said no. Lena described Tisha as cleaning stuff. Tisha was cleaning her room and the kitchen. She got the supplies to clean from under the sink. While Tisha was cleaning, Lena went outside to ride Gannon's bike because something was wrong with her bike. When Lena was done riding her bike, Tisha was the only one at the house and she was still cleaning. She was cleaning her room and the kitchen. Lena said when Tisha went to pick up Albert from the airport, she stayed at the babysitter's house. When asked what occurred next, Lena said it was Tuesday. Lena did not go to school because Gannon was missing. Lena said that Tisha acted good with her and then left the room. Karen was able to get Lena back in the room to continue the interview. Karen was able to ask only one more question of what Lena had to eat, and Lena replied, popcorn, soup, beef jerky for a snack, and she had cereal for dinner. Lena then walked out of the room, concluding the interview. Whew. All right, so, and I know that, it's a lot to take in, but I've said this before. There's about half in that safe passage interview that we can't verify. We're going off of an 8-year-old. But there's the other half that, guess what? We can verify. And this is what I take from it. Every single part of that safe passage interview that Lena is describing that we can verify comes back legit. Now, you also have to take it into account that this is an 8-year-old and it was her perception of the situation. And yes, we also know that Tisha could have been manipulating and doing things specifically. But here's the thing. Even when she describes where Letecia's burn is, she pulls down her sleeve and she points to her in her forearm. We have seen Letecia do exactly that in the interviews when she shows where her burn is. That's exactly where her burn is. So in my mind, I say, check. That's exactly what she would have done with Lena. Then I think back to Letecia saying to Lena, you can't sleep in your room, go in my room because people are looking through your windows. This is an 8-year-old. That comment is so unique and so specific. I think that's exactly what Letecia said because it's extremely paranoid. And how else am I supposed to believe an 8-year-old would think of such an unusual statement, So I believe Tisha did say, I'm nervous about people looking through your window. Go stay in my room. Then we have Lena describing Gannon was crying downstairs, but I was in Daddy's bed with the dogs. Guess what? The horrific candle incident video of Gannon, of Letecia saying, we're going to have to figure out, we're going to have to sell the couch. The very beginning of that video starts with Letecia in her bedroom. She flicks on the light. Lena is seen in the bed on the wedge pillow with the dogs. And she says, I think she asks, what's happening or something. And you see Letecia walk through the house and then walk downstairs to Gannon. There are so many things that we're able to verify that actually Lena is doing a very good job recounting what took place. And Gannon originally did go down in Lena's room. So now when I listen to the parts that we can't verify, like she had to help carry Gannon down the stairs, that Letecia had to bend Gannon's legs because he couldn't walk, I think it's likely pretty accurate to what an 8-year-old would be perceiving the situation as. Gannon was no longer crying. That's terrifying. But we know that's true because in a short span of time, when Gannon is hysterical on that candle incident video to when Harley comes home and she goes to say goodnight, he's out. Was the medication administered? Was he unconscious? I think more often than not, that interview is very, very accurate and it describes something very horrific. And if Letecia, Lena's going to have to grow up and understand and accept that she helped carry her brother to bed the last night he was alive, that she had to have a hand in something so fucked up. And this is what I mean by Letecia's victims are endless, and it hasn't even hit Lena yet because she's not even old enough to understand what Tisha involved her in. So yeah. Absolutely awful.
Never trouble. So then we come back. And so I'm, of course, and like, I text Harley, I text Albert, you know, what had happened. And I said, you know, this is what happened. Tell Harley this is what happened. Don't panic when you come home. Because the house, at this point in time, we get back in, smells like nothing but smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And so nothing but smoke at this point in time. And it was just like, I couldn't get the smoke out. Even opening up the like windows and all these things, I couldn't get the smoke out. So that was
So what,
like
what happened with these covers that you used to put out the flame?
well, the covers were either left there, because I remember getting the stuff, some of the stuff, and putting outside in the trash can, which I even showed the people when they got there that I put in the trash can.
You guys have singular trash cans for each house there, or do you have a dumpster, or what?
Really good for big trash. It's just a big brown trash.
One of the wheel ones you wheel out and
Yeah.
put by the curb. Okay.
Yeah, it was just one of those. It was, no one was like, whatever. But we did want Albert. So like come home, like come, not necessarily come home and leave for that, but we maybe like had updated a little bit to Albert because we were like thinking, you know, like said whatever, you know, like whatever. So in my message to Albert probably was a little bit like a little more over exaggeration.
When you say we, did you talk with the kids about let's get Albert home?
No. We did sit down, and because when I was asking him, like, was this, you know, did you do this on accident? Was this an accident? You know, whatever. And so we were just talking about, you know, like the whole thing. Everybody was in one room. We were all in the bedroom at the time, which was our bedroom upstairs.
Okay.
So we were all in the bedroom upstairs and talking and, you know, whatever. And I said, I got to let your daddy know. And then I was not going to tell him. That was the original thing. Was not to tell him. It was just to fix it and not tell him.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I was like, if I just do that, then we don't have to worry about it.
Right.
But then that was just an opportunity to be like, oh, well, maybe Albert would be like, oh, or, you know, it was hard, like, you know, always all of us was there going through all these memories and doing all these things without him, you know, like being there.
No, I get it.
So that was
so did Gannon agree that was a good idea to kind of play it up a little bit?
Did he agree?
Yeah.
We all were in like an agreement.
So how did you play it up? Was the fire really not that big and you made it like it was a big deal? Or
well, so whenever
just
we
to get Al to say, hey, maybe I should get back home.
When we were explaining it to
Hey, Meat Feet. So glad you got 28 months. Thank you so much, Meat Feet. Yeah. No backsies.
People in general, like that was our whole like, oh my God, whatever. Like, I'm like, oh, you saw that, like,
and here's the weirdest part. Like, she's charged with Gannon's murder. Like, this is her interrogation, but she thinks I could walk out of here. I mean,
that's we made it work like a situation. Like,
yes,
than what it really was.
Yeah, because I couldn't understand how a candle could make a big fire. Because my wife lights candles all the time around
before
the house.
The ranch,
you knock them over, and if you knock it over, kind of nothing happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it might singe the carpet a little bit.
Yeah.
I've seen the pictures, and I'm surprised that, you know, that much of the carpet was burned.
Well, it was probably because, I mean, I don't know, but I know that we did go, like, push down on the carpet, and it was covered, because the cover was wrapped up on camera.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know, like.
That's what I was just curious about the burn itself on the carpet, because that looks awfully big for a candle.
I didn't even think that was even big. Was that really big?
Yeah, I didn't even think that was big. Yeah, here's the thing. It went down to the fucking cement, Miss Ma'am. Yeah, for a carpet burn, yeah, given that it's fire retardant, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's that big for a candle, because like I said, my wife, we look like a church sometimes with all the candles she lights.
Yeah.
We have dogs running around and kids.
Yeah, no, it was.
I was just surprised a candle could make, you know, a big black thing in the carpet that much. That it might have been held there for a little while.
Yeah.
Maybe he tried to set.
I don't know about, but see, the thing is, I don't know that Gannon would try to like purposely like set something on fire. I don't know. I know that he did tell me later that he thought that I was coming downstairs and he was playing his game. So I don't
he
know.
was playing his game when he knocked the candle over?
Yeah, so he did tell us, he told me and Lena and all of us that when we were all talking together, he told us that thought I was coming downstairs. Like to catch him on his game. Whatever.
Oh, that's why he knocked it over.
I don't know.
Trying to
I
get off it.
don't know if he
I know I'm taking.
accidentally or thought, you know, whatever. I just know
Blaming
he
Gavin
said that
again.
he thought.
But did he take any responsibility for knocking the candle over, or did it just say it happened, or what?
No, he did say that.
Okay.
He did say that he had done it, that he had started it or whatever. And I asked, that's why I kept asking him, like, did you do it on purpose?
That's what I'm curious about.
Or did you, you know, was it an accident? He told me an accident. He thought I was coming downstairs. So, and to me, sir, we could afford to buy another
Yeah, for sure.
sofa in another apartment. That's not a problem. Like, I mean, you're talking about like things that we had and nice things that we can afford to buy that. So that was not a point of contention, and Gannon very well would have known that.
So did it burn? It burned the sofa also?
I don't think it burned the sofa. I'm just saying, like, in general in the area, whether if it would have burned sofa, TV, all that.
Right. Did he light the candle?
We could afford
Or who
to
lit
do
that
it.
candle? Do you know?
The candle was, he had already lit the candle because the dogs were, and so he had already lit the candle, which we
Does he
allowed.
normally do that?
Yeah, we allowed him to he could light the candle if he wanted to. He was allowed to open like packages that came. That's where I was funny. Albert taught him how to use like the box cutter and stuff like that. He was allowed to do those.
Thank you, Lisa. Go birds. What does that mean, though? Hi, honey. What does that mean, though? Go birds. I like birds. My mom just got 2 parakeets, like buggies, I think they're called. Budgies. I like birds.
Type of thing.
Thank you, Lisa.
As long as, you know, he was usually within reason, like, okay, I'm not going to go like, you know, like, or something like that. When I was little too, like I did the same thing about curious about matching, but we had already given him enough of, you know, like safety talks about, like Albert, when he talked to him about using the box cutters and knives, he always showed him the right direction.
Oh. You're not talking about literal birds, are you? Go Eagles. Yes. Thank you, Lisa. Go Eagles. Jesus.
You know, not to just go to so he had already had these, you know, talks about the correct way to do these things.
Well, it explains those two. So about the bath salts, the candle, and now the foot injured in the garage. Tell me about that.
The foot injury.
Sorry, before I go there, so we don't forget, you said peeling these later.
I just remember that on Monday his arm had a little bit of peeling to it, and that's when I said in my mind, and like I told the earlier here, that I did at that point say, I probably should like think about if I need to, if later on after I put stuff on it, I need to think about if it gets worse, you know, monitor the situation. You know, like those type of things.
Did you put?
We're doing Patreon right after this little ride.
Green hello stuff. And
as soon as this is over, excuse me, we're going right over to Patreon to do the nasty Wade last phone call.
And we had took and put the dog had just had get bit before, so already had that little.
Go birds.
Okay.
And so we had already done that in that situation.
Did you put them in both arms?
Yes,
the right arm, I feel like.
And then when did you do that? Was that Sunday night, Monday morning, both?
I think it was Sunday night. No, actually it wasn't. It was Thursday night because we stayed up late. So it would have already been Monday morning hours. Like into Monday morning hours.
So why were you guys up late?
Because we couldn't breathe. The smell was so like
we couldn't breathe.
It's like stuck in the house from the smoke. We couldn't breathe. And I don't want to get
So where did you guys hang out until you could breathe?
We slept in our room, and then we opened all the windows downstairs.
Okay. And
And you all slept upstairs besides Gannon. You left him in a smoke-filled, freezing basement, drugged and injured. You were gagging. Oh, man. Oh, my God, little Fred.
4 of you slept in?
So Lena, Harley, me, and him were in the room for a while. Then Gannon went to Lena's room. Yeah. So then Gannon went to Lena's room for a while, but then he was in his room by the time he woke up. So I don't know if he got open.
What time do you think you went to Lena's room? What, after midnight?
Sure, I don't know.
When did you call him in sick? It was pretty early in the morning.
Well, what happened is all I did was I called and asked about his stomach. It was nothing to do with anything to do with the fire. My question was, I'd already given him Miralax, which was like,
Mm-hmm.
So we had a prescription over the counter. I say whatever it is, prescription Miralax, whatever
Right.
it's a ring or whatever. And I'd already given him that. And so then also had X-Lax. And I thought, at what point can I not, like how much is enough, if I can't get him to pass this, at what point is there enough, or can I go ahead and do it like an enema? Albert can tell you, I've given him an enema before, and like things like that. Okay.
Now, this was something that was really disturbing that we heard. You'll hear as the defense starts to get into their defense, how many enemas, like, again, this defense was the weirdest thing because they're pleading NGRI, and yet they get into all these different territories that it's like, why? But starting to go into daily enemas that she claims. I don't think she gave him daily enemas, but that's what the defense will claim.
They get so bad, and they're just so big, and they get clogged up. So that was the concern about how to get him to pass.
Mm-hmm.
Because like for me, I have to I can drink 10 scoops of Miralax and
Won't affect you.
it won't affect me at all. Yeah. And so I didn't want it to be where it was. And then also, the combination is different than my stomach because, like I said, if I take 10 of them, I'm okay.
So he's having the squirts and he started having those in the hike, but he couldn't pass that whole evening. Is that right?
Right. He would get out, but couldn't get the whole thing out. And that was sometimes if he finally, and then when he finally
It had to
gets
be painful,
one out,
wasn't it? Or,
for me, I lay in the bathroom and I'm in pain.
Yeah.
Whenever.
Was he telling you he was in pain?
Well, he sits on the toilet. His common thing is that he'll sit on the toilet and just sit there and sit there and sit there. So as long as he's got something to focus with, Gannon's pain tolerance is very high when it comes to just sitting there focusing.
Mm-hmm.
His pain tolerance was very
Spent a
high.
long time in the bathroom that evening, just sitting there.
Yeah, often on the bathroom. We got kids' meals, but he came out and ate his kids' meals. So better. So I said,
McDonald's or what?
no, we, Carl's Jr.
Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had originally said Burger King, but that's not Burger King right there. That's Carl's Jr.
Got it.
Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
Because I never go to Carl's Jr., but we got 2 kids' meals, and I think I got Lena went with me to go get it. So he ate the kids' meal when we got back.
But he still hadn't passed. So.
Well, if he ate, he had done something. He had already used it some because he wouldn't have eaten.
And had you given the Miralax before the meal then?
I had already given Miralax throughout the week. We always had this thing where if I went in there and took one of my shots, like of baby berries or something like that, he would take one too. So it was common for me to be like, okay, here, mix. And Albert would always say, go mix him up one of the drinks because we put in orange juice. Well, he didn't like juices as much unless it was like Kool-Aid juices. So it was a common thing to always try to give Miralax to regulate the system. But the problem is, if you don't take the Vyvanse, that you don't take it for a day, like he didn't take it on Saturday, because family was in town, and say you don't take it on Saturday, and if you don't take it on Sunday, that's when it starts to happen. That's when the constipation and the diarrhea kind of hits you. So, like, let's say if he would have took it Saturday, and let's say he would have took it Sunday, he wouldn't have been as bad. But then the problem is, Albert always would want him not on it if we're going to go do like a big time activity, because instead of having him like, zoned out, I mean, zoned out or something.
Yeah.
That was
The by then stuff.
right.
Yeah.
And so like the thing was, if we go somewhere that requires him to have like things, then that we don't want him to be under that guidance and just have to be like zoned in.
Mm-hmm.
We want him to be, especially like on the hike, I wanted him to be able to like run around and do things, because me and him were always on the top of all, like if we had hiked, we were always on the top of hikes. We were always the one, like,
Right.
leading, doing everything.
So was he bleeding that night? Do you know?
From
rectally, anally? Yeah.
So what happens is from him breathing, I'm
trying to figure out, things are going on with him these last couple hours.
Yeah, so like from him squeezing and stuff like that, his does the same thing as mine does, and mine doesn't. So that's why I told you we're so much alike, and we could relate on that, because it was like, oh my gosh, or your butt, and just from squeezing and things like that. And that wasn't like boring.
Okay, so it wasn't a copious amount.
Yeah.
Because of him struggling with that all night, or that evening into the night. You don't know when he eventually felt good? Or
how it works is he might feel good, and then he gets where it's hurting still until he gets it all out. It's not until he returns like 100% and being like, okay, I'm back to game.
did he get back to Gannon that night?
For Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was fine. I told you he earned extra time.
Right.
To be able to stay up and stuff.
Yeah, but I thought, was he not struggling with this after the candle incident?
Right. Like what happens is, I mean, if you want to call him a GI person, but he gets where he's okay, and then a little bit more okay, and a little bit more. They happen every once a month ish,
right,
where he goes through those episodes of his stomach, and mine does the same thing.
So when you guys were up in the bedroom, how was he?
You mean like after
the flame and fire and smoke?
He was upset and like crying because he thought he was going to lose his switch, like for a long time. Like he thought, that.
God, I hate that.
I don't care. We'll just do whatever. I knew whatever. I would be quicker to cover up because we just related on the same page, more so than Lane, because Lane would be kind of crappy and sure, whatever. Anna could be more of like, we can have a secret and talk and say.
Right.
Yeah. So I'd be more inclined. Okay, don't tell anybody, we'll fix it. And so that was kind of like our conversation, what we were talking about. Yeah, he was upset.
Night, okay.
Like very, like upset and hurt and just trying to do whatever, but we also kind of just.
So how late do you think he stayed up with you in the room until he finally left?
I don't know.
Was it past midnight or do you know?
I don't know. At this
when he
point
left
in time,
on his own?
At this point. So whenever he went to Lena's room, I think he walked down. I don't remember exactly, but I know we all four of us couldn't fit in the bed plus 2 dogs. But at one point in time, we had to switch the whole. And I feel like at one point, Harley was sleeping on the sofa, and then Harley and Lena switched because we were up. Like I said, we couldn't breathe. It was.
We couldn't breathe.
Very smoky. So we were all like. When Lena went to school, I'm pretty sure she probably went to school. Like exhausted.
Right.
Because like
So Lena was real sleepy, but she went to school.
Yeah, like what I'm saying is when she woke up, she probably was like really, really like felt like she could have used a couple more hours.
Mm-hmm. So why did you call Gannon in sick and not her?
Well, she wasn't struggling with stomach problems.
So he still had him in the morning. But.
Right. So it wasn't. I even had messaged Albert through the night and said, "Hey, I asked him."
Mm-hmm.
Like I asked him, "Is it okay if Gannon?"
Yeah, you were plotting the murder throughout the night.
So that was.
Yeah.
But he didn't respond because he was on a different time zone.
So you called in sick though too for your work.
Judge, that's at 1:26:58, which was where I intended to stop, and this is probably a good time for lunch.
Yes, it is. All right.
All right. So we'll stop there along with them, but I don't think the sound went out unless the sound went out for anybody else. Yep, I know. I'm empty. It's just so frustrating because even throughout all of it, she manages to still blame Gannon. It's never her. It's never her. I'm just haunted by the idea of what happened this night. You know what I mean? So, but all right, guys. So the next, that was like a big smack. The next Letecia Lab will be Wednesday. Tomorrow we're doing the Wade body cam footage and interrogation. We're gonna go right over to Patreon. If you're a Patreon member, just go right into Patreon because the live is already scheduled, and so I'm just gonna start it right now. And we're gonna go over the very explicit third phone call of Wade Wilson. Wish us luck. Wish us luck. Bring your holy water and ranch. And yeah, I hope to see you guys. If you're not Patreon members, I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Your food's here. Awesome, Homer. I hope to see you guys tomorrow for the Wade stuff and then Wednesday for Grusing stuff. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for the ranch support. It means so much to me. I love you guys. Seriously, this is the best community ever. I feel so blessed. And thank you just for being you guys. And I will see you over on Patreon.
Lying down the highway in a makeshift Model TA. Woo, yeah, woo. It's a beautiful morning and it's gonna be a beautiful day. The wheels are humming, the guitar strumming, and our radio is blasting and good sounds are coming as we're flying down the highway in a makeshift Model TA.
She keeps on.
Keep on dancing all through the night.
She keeps on.
Keep on doing it right.
She keeps on.
Keep on moving.
She keeps on.
Keep on moving.
She keeps on.
Dancing all through the night.
You can hear the music from 26 miles away. Smiling is happy, and happy is here to stay. Yeah.
Keeps on. Keeps on. Keeps on.
Keep on dancing all through the night.
Keeps on.
Keep on doing it right.
Keeps on.
Keep on moving.
Keeps on.
Keep on moving.
Keeps on.
Singing and dancing all through the night.
Keeps on.
Keep on dancing all through the night.
She keeps on talking to me.
Keep on